go get them again.
Welcome back to another unboxing first impression video on my channel. It's neither an unboxing, it's right there plain to see, or a first impression. So if anybody calls me a liar in the comments below, granted, I'm not a very good liar either. You know, I can't hide this. There's no box. The box is actually gone. This was in my unboxing pile, and a lot of things that I got split or I got on Facebook groups. When it comes with the box, I unbox it right away. They're half or, you know, 3/4 partials, right? These Facebook groups are great. You see my collection here. You're not supposed to see these two, cuir and vinyl. Oh, the leather one, the old school leather one, and vinyl. But I got tuxedo over here that I got all these on Facebook groups. That's how great these things are. Now they're getting attacked right now, the Facebook groups, by a certain brand, a couple brands, including my Facebook group. So it's kind of scary times for Facebook because I delve into those groups for a lot of this stuff. Like this whole line is based upon split, 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 split. I even have a tuxedo backup over here. So this whole lineup is built upon these Facebook groups. So I absolutely love them for these kind of lines. Sometimes, you know, lines like this, you find them quality, but you know, you're blind buying them, and I got this like little threshold at like $250 is probably the most I would spend Canadian on these. And that's where I got these mostly, or under. And that's fine, right? They're low partial, so they're going to be in the hundreds or something. I'd rather get this than a brand new designer for the channel, we'll say. I'd rather get that. More interesting scent profiles for me. So we're talking about Babycat today, and it's not the first time I spoke about this on my channel. I bought this one a few years back on Facebook groups. As you know, the Purgatory in the back end, where the camera is not showing, has hundreds of bottles, kind of like this, you know, partial bottles, things like that. Things that are older releases that were hot back in the day and still kind of relevant to this day. Babycat is. Now I did do a samples video back in October 2023. And it was like around that time after that I got this. So you can check out that video because obviously it's much more in-depth than this video is going to be. But this is like a 2 years later kind of, here I am. I finally got my bottle off the sample, and it's kind of neat. Neat that you can go on my channel and go, okay, this guy's not just a sampling fragrance reviewer. He puts his money where his mouth is, and I do. And I'm backed up in regards to unboxings, and there's a good reason that this would have been unboxed years ago if I wasn't, you know, very slow on these. So you can go check out that video because it gives my thoughts on the scent through introduction, dry down. You know, sampling samples. I give it a score, longevity, projection, but now it's nice today to revisit it with my very own bottle. I haven't smelt this since that sampling sample, so it's kind of nice now that this video is going to be published today, we'll say. Now it's going to go in here, where these two are going to go back in the Purgatory and be like, okay, we need to be unboxed as well, and so is the tuxedo backup as well, so lots to do. But I haven't smelt this one since that video, so it's nice to add it finally to my collection officially. The videos are like the official, I can finally use it in lists. I can finally wear it on my own. Things like that. So it's kind of an exciting time to kind of add something like this to my channel. Now, the one thing about my channel is you do get the real time of me discovering the scent through sampling samples, and then you see the bottle on the channel when I do the unboxing, and yeah, and then you get a fragrance review or a test drive later on. But yeah, this was from the fragrance groups, Facebook groups, and I get, of course, a good chunk of my scents there. So there's a good chunk of this scent gone. So will I regret getting so little of Babycat? I don't think so. These are 125s, eh? These bottles. Yeah, that's kind of old school. I feel like that's going to be gone shortly. But yeah, you see a good chunk of the scent. So let's revisit it. Let's see what my thoughts are now. The name itself, Babycat, if you didn't know, just a quick rundown of the name itself. It was a YSL pattern in the mid 2010s, I believe, which was called Babycat. Many designer brands do this. They pair their fragrances to their lineups, as far as their couture lineups, we'll say. So they do that with their collections. Now, if you're new here, welcome to the channel. My name's Mark, I'm your host, and hit that subscribe button, right? Especially if you want to hear about the old school creator. Like if you're into this kind of stuff, like a lot of people in our community aren't into that kind of stuff. And I hear you, like I'm into that. Like if I had a channel, I don't think I have a channel that kind of resembles mine, that they kind of, you know, I'm not a vintage guy. I'm not a batch code guy, but I don't mind talking about things that have been discontinued, reworked, then they're old and they're new to me kind of thing. You know, especially like modern stuff. Like yes, I am going in the 80s sometimes and things like that, but it's interesting to kind of see my journey and what piques my interest in my buying as well. I buy a lot, and I buy a lot of different things as well. So much appreciated, especially if you hit that like button. That is much appreciated on my part. Now let's take a look at the note breakdown. Let's see what's in this thing. In the top, we got black pepper, pink pepper, and elemi. In the mid, we got olibanum and saffron, and in the base, we got vanilla, suede, and cedar. Now, if my memory serves me well, this is a vanilla-based fragrance with a little bit of the peppers, I think. What does it say on the sticker? The sticker usually tells you accord d'ayam. So that's a suede-like, yeah, suede-like feel, and vanilla. So those are the big notes as per YSL. Now, this was released back in 2022. The nose, Dominique Rapion, which of course a stud with spices. Rapion spices always piques my interest. So let's look at pricing. This one is quite pricey. I'm sure it has gone through a couple price changes since my sampling sample series. This is going for $280 USD for 125 ml, and you can find it cheaper at discounters. It kind of shows up here and there, but it really does at discounters. It goes as fast as it shows up. And I'm going to do a prediction. This Vestiaire lineup, which is what this lineup is called, is currently on 125s, but I could see it shrink to 100 ml at some point. That's what a lot of companies are doing now. So I gave this one a 9 bottles out of 10 in my video back in 2023. And let's see if I feel the same way. We're going to put it on strip, then we'll put it on skin. It's going to be a suitable scent of the day today. We're in the midst of our Canadian winters, so let's delve into it. Let's smell this one. Yeah, 9 out of 10. And again, like anybody that's been with me through the years, you can comment below, but pretty much when I give a score on something, doesn't matter how old that score is, I'm not budging much out of those scores. And some people may say, oh, Mark, you know, that's a little high, right? Not artistic enough and not... I know, but, right? There's some fragrances like this, right, that do get hype. And I get a lot of flack on this. Like people think that I just trash hype beasts, but I like a good scent. And this has that ambery glow to it that I like. It has just enough personality to it, but it's very wearable, very inviting, but it's not like a Bleu de Chanel where I'm like, oh, I'll never wear this. But this, I would actually wear. So a 9 out of 10, that's bang on. I'm not going to budge on that rating. It's a good scent. It's very unisex, so I could see a lot of the appeal on the women's side. Like there's a lot of women that love this for themselves. I don't know about the men's side. I'm assuming, yeah, there is some popularity to it, but it's spicy, it's vanillic. Let's put it on skin. This is going to be a good scent of the day. It's a very solid scent of the day, actually. Nothing wrong wearing this. And very warming, comforting, a little spicy here. Oh, yeah. That suede, that incense pops a little bit here. Some good incense in here. I don't know if it's just because of the bottom. I wonder if I said that in the sampling samples. I don't remember the incense having such a pronounced feel in this one. I like it. It runs so smooth. It's warm, it's comforting, easy to wear, right? Especially in these cooler months. I see the reasons why it sells so well. The texture of the spices. There's some texture in here, and that's a good, you know, a perfumier that can balance smoothness and textures at the same time, where it has some levels, some volumes. And that's what I like about good perfume, is that There's that wearability in this fragrance where it's like, I don't have to think much. And some people are going to hate it because of these small textures, because the incense has a little bit of that smoke. The black pepper has a little bit of that piquant to it. But I love those kind of things. I'm like, yes, give me more of that. I like those textures and volumes. The vanilla is solid. And again, the vanilla is not one of the greatest vanillas, and it's the primary note in this fragrance, honestly. But the vanilla is very solid. It's not one of the best in the game, but it's very, very solid. And there's something to say about that. And that's matched with some spicy nuances. So I'm getting some of that saffron. I'm getting a little bit of that piquant. I'm getting a little bit of pepper, pink and black, mostly black. The spices and the resins in here really make this thing interesting to me, not the vanilla, if that makes sense. The surrounding notes are the stars of the show, which is, and a lot of perfume it does, honestly. So, but the vanilla is kind of, I don't want to say boring, but it's just like, okay, like it's your typical vanillic. Like I would say, like I would compare this to any niche high-end brand that's trying to be mass appealing, right? I could say probably not as childish, but Initio, PDM, vanillas and things like that. But there's beauty surrounding that vanilla that makes it interesting. So I love the build of this one. The blend's outstanding. Ambery glow from the vanilla and the resins, really, really good. This lineup, and I think I've only spoken about Tuxedo, this one. Have I spoke about the other one? What was this one? Kaftan. I feel like these are very user-friendly releases from a higher end line where you could almost drop these down to, and I don't want to be, I don't want to be putting mud on these names of these fragrances because they're well built, but these can be dropped down to their signature line. And it would make for an outstanding signature line, absolutely. And of course, I would drop the price at the same time. But oh wow, imagine a signature line that has like, who cares about the stupid YSL stuff that they've been releasing the men's out, like the Ys and stuff like that. Why? But start releasing this kind of stuff. It's like a little step, like it would compete versus like Dior Homme, the old one. That's where these would go because they're so friendly, but there's some interesting parts like that blending of interesting parts and wearability is very rare for me, a nose like mine, because the wearability ones are kind of boring and mundane, and the interesting ones are way too interesting that the wearability kind of drops down a bit. So blending that, Rapillon strengths have come out in this release, which is nice to see. I like this one. And I don't care what people say. Like they'll hate what I say, right? They'll just say, "Oh, you like this one just because you don't want to be a contrarian," or your taste. Some people are gonna be like, "Your taste is way above this. Why are you liking this?" I like what I like. I like sweet fragrances. I like them built well, though, right? This I think has that personality, and I could see this on a woman, right? And I think a lot more women like this than men. And I could be wrong, but that's what I think the landscape is more women loving Babycat than men. But it could be 50-50. I've seen a lot of men on YouTube liking this one too, but they just jump on the bandwagon, a lot of them. So at the end of the day, a very good addition to this. It doesn't stray away from what I've smelt previously from this line, right? Very approachable scents, well-built scents. It can make it a little overpriced or not niche enough or not interesting enough. It's just in this little bubble. But and again, the secondary notes are the ones that are the standouts. If you just had that vanilla and you had like something like, I don't know, ambroxan in the back or something like that, the olibanum, the saffron, the pink pepper, the elemi, the black pepper, even the suede-like quality, cedar, all play a role to make this a very interesting scent. So now that you heard my take, I'd love to see yours in the comments below. Everybody and their grandmother have smelt Babycat, I'm assuming, so there's going to be a lot of polarizing comments. The Robes 08 purists are going to be like, Mark, all right. And then there's going to be the ones that are like, yeah, this is great. And there might be some people in the middle. And that's what's nice in the comments is just all different people checking out a fragrance and different takes on them. And as always, a great pour fragrance will make a lasting impression. Choose your scent wisely. Thanks for watching, YouTube. Have a good one.